Shut up and sit down.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Nerdsplaining Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Da Silva. With me is always my co-host, Jose Romero.
Greetings, salutations, nerds around the world. Interesting week this week. A lot of stuff to talk about. Some related to the show, some not, but yeah, I guess they are. They are related to the show, goddammit. And I'll say this, the theme of the show, particularly when it comes to a couple of shows we'll be discussing, and I'll quote the great Charles Dickens, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
You know what? I feel a little bit different than you. I feel like this
Fair
has
enough.
been a week of surprises.
Surprise? Sure.
Surprises.
There's always good stuff. I'm just referring to different things. But everything else is definitely some pleasant stuff to discuss. But before all that, a couple of housekeeping stuff. First of all, happy birthday to, of course, our host, Eric, who had completed his 26th birthday.
That's right, guys.
Earlier this week.
26.
What up?
It's been a hard 26. I've seen
26,
things.
man. You long way to go, brother. Long way to go. You're seeing a lot. There's a lot to see, and you should be very excited. We got Comic-Con coming up very soon in about a week. We got, of course, Deadpool Wolverine coming out. Yep.
We talked about this earlier in the show. In celebration to 1 week away from Deadpool Wolverine and my birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how much of a nerd I am. Yeah, look at that.
That's right. The real deal right there.
I am the Wolverine variant that never accomplished anything. Like, failure is one thing, but failure to launch is another. And that is, I'm failure to launch Wolverine, guys. So that's it. I'm the best at what I do. And what I do is not being productive. So it's really,
You gotta love it. I was hoping to see Deadpool early. There's a slight chance I'm trying to get into a Monday screening because I had one on Friday, but it was just the first 30 minutes where I didn't go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna go see 30 minutes. If I see the whole thing, I don't see it at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Fair.
But it's gonna be a hard sell, so it looks like I'm gonna end up going Thursday. But we're gonna do a show on Thursday.
Nice.
Right afterwards, and I'll get my very fresh reaction out of the theater of said film. I don't know if you're gonna watch it.
I'm watching it that weekend. But
okay, you're watching that weekend.
I'm excited to do that.
Many people watching it that weekend.
If you are a long-time fan of the show, you know Jose is religiously a hater about so many things. So to break through the wall of apathy and disingenuous overratedness, to get to that nougat of like nerd in him, it is a feat, and it is a task, and those that make through warranted pretty solid.
I said all along it was going to be good. I got a good feeling. We'll probably start hearing some reviews, reactions probably on Monday night, Tuesday.
Sure.
I'm not sure if there's going to be an embargo. I didn't ask, to be honest with you. I usually ask before I go in. But that being said, we're going to find out very soon. And, that being said, it's going to lead right into, San Diego Comic-Con. At least for the next 2 years. I hear they may move. I hope so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently, which I've been begging for them to move for the longest. Go to Vegas where they know how to handle such crowds, right? And the logistics behind such an event.
Right.
But yeah, apparently the contract runs out after next year.
Oh.
And the Comic-Con representatives were not pleased at the hotel price gouging that's been going on the last 3 years. They're not happy at all. They want that to change. So that's going to be a big point of contention, of course. And they have all the leverage. Either they shape up, they'll go to Vegas where the hotels are cheaper, and there's a lot more rooms to have for everybody. It's that simple.
It is cheaper, but you're going to lose more, nerds.
That's okay. It's worth it.
But to be fair, the losing the virginity market will be massive.
That's a massive high,
Vegas.
And the biggest thing about the biggest thing really is the capacity at what would be a Hall H in Vegas would be, I can say maybe 300-400% larger than what it is now. 6,000 getting now, 2/3 are probably pressed. Let's be clear, a third is pressed. It's just they can, instead of 6,000, if they can fit like 20-some thousand, and that's if they stay in a regular. And that's a huge difference, and everyone can go and enjoy the biggest marquee event at the Comic-Con, right? So
that would be huge.
That's the big thing. So yeah, so either way, so let's see. But listen, a lot of news coming up. We know Marvel's having its presence there, and there was a lot of stories, with Marvel. We'll touch on a couple now, but I guess someone hacked Disney or something, and they threatened Marvel. They're going to release information, artwork that I guess they saw, and then this hack, plans for future films. What are the cases?
Right.
some stuff was released. I don't know if it was by them for potential announcements for Comic-Con. There's a lot
Okay.
of them. We're not going to touch on that because whatever, we can speculate on our own. I mean, it's like they're going to announce, Avengers. Yeah, duh.
Yeah, big shock.
Hello. Um,
Marvel announces Batman. Now,
right. Now that's a
all right,
secret right
all right.
there.
Listen,
But one thing that was I thought they were gonna say for Comic Con, they didn't, which kind of surprised me, was Captain America, which dropped this trailer, the New World Order, last week. And you and I were talking, they're gonna release a trailer at
sure.
Comic Con and make.
That's what he thought,
It's two
right?
weeks away, dude. Talk about blowing your load. Relax. And we just talk about the trailer because the first thing that jumped out is they did actually show Red Hulk, which I think you were not. You were hoping that wouldn't be the case.
Right. I wanted to tease. I like when you heard the growl at the end, like when you see the Captain America New Order, you heard the growl in the darkness. I was like, oh, that's cool, and I thought it was going to show stop there, and then they showed Red Hulk, and I was like, oh wow, they're literally going, it's come. Like there's like, and talk about the sign of the times
For real.
for where Marvel is. Like Marvel's going to go like, listen, guys, we are not messing around. We're gonna show you things, so
Yeah.
you need to come to this movie.
Exactly. It's a little desperate, but whatever.
But
It is what it is.
And
It's
because
fine.
of the circumstance of the world right now, what they're in, they needed to do that. It's
Listen, they're gonna hype this thing up, but they're gonna ride the wave. Riding the wave of Deadpool won't carry to next year. It's gonna last a couple of months, and then boom.
I think not the full wave, but a large part of the
I
wave
mean,
will
I
still
think
be
it's gonna
there.
lift the spirits of those.
Sure,
You and I in the same boat's been mediocre. We'll leave it at
right?
that, right? As far
Yeah,
as inconsistent,
unfortunately,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So they need a big win. Deadpool's going to be a win, but again, I always say I don't think it matters what Deadpool does. It only matters what Captain America, Thunderbolts,
Right.
etc.
That's gonna be, but that's the first sign of
Right,
did we carry this wave well?
right,
Is
exactly. So the trailer
Captain
came
America.
out. So listen, what do you think about the trailer? I mean,
Dude, I
yeah,
actually I really liked it. It made me feel like, oh, they at least know they're trying to go for Winter Soldier. There's not a like a
it's
failed
got that vibe.
execution. The trailer definitely is letting you know, like, oh, this is not Civil War and this is not First Avenger. We are in the world of Winter Soldier. And I liked that feel of it specifically. John Carlos Esposito, who literally was just filming his scenes like a month
I know.
ago in that trailer. I'm like, oh, you guys are letting you know it's the new story. It's not the old one that was mediocre. This is the new story that we're doing.
Any idea who he is? Because
Well,
and that's not speculation, I guess.
the speculation is GW Bridge. GW
Right.
stands for George Washington Bridge. Yeah, let that linger in a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a Rob Liefeld character. He was introduced in X Force #2 and of the original '90s run, and he was part of Cable's proto X Force team called Six Pack, and then he became part of Shield's task force to bring in Cable, which introduced also Kane, who was the Weapon X after Deadpool. And is he an important character? Like a 6 out of 10. He's had some relevance. There were some storylines key with him, but in terms of today, not really. And
Interesting.
hot take, I've said this before and I'll say it again, because he's kind of got a weird cape shawl thing going on, I'm thinking maybe the big twist is that he's actually going to be the Flag Smasher. Because remember, Falcon Winter Soldier, the Flag Smashers were a team.
Mm-hmm.
I think the big cool to show the series connects this to movie is that he may be a GW Bridge type, but he's actually the Flag Smasher, and that organization he runs off as like just almost like a kind of what they try to do with Iron Man 3, where they try to make the Mandarin sort of like a mystical legendary figure. He's actually that being applied real world. That's what I think. I'm hoping that'd be a great twist. But
I know they had an interview with him recently, and he mentioned, I don't know exactly when this was, it might be a little bit hyperbole, but he said no one has guessed his character yet. I find it hard to believe because so many theories. I'm sure somebody has. I'm sure he hasn't heard what you and I have heard or whatever. I don't know. So maybe it's not that character. I don't know. I would say it just reeks of him just being in the first 5 minutes opening scene, like Rhino in Spider-Man 2. Is that better? and then that's it, right? Because it's harder to write a character deep into the story, right? When you're rewriting and bring him into filming, do a quick opening scene, introduce him, because he said he was going to be partaking some Marvel show down the road, right? He's going to get a small intro here and then move forward. So I don't think he's a big character. I think he'll be shot in the first 10 minutes, a quick action scene like Crossbones in Civil War.
Right.
kind of deal, and then he will, you know,
Well, and once
ship off to the
again,
side
but that
potentially.
sticks with the classic Captain America film structure. Both Winter Soldier and
Mhm.
Civil War started with a brief scene
Right.
with a villain. Or, it was Batroc for Winter Soldier. It was Crossbones for
Hmm.
for Civil War, and then the movie dovetails off of that
Right.
act.
I think that's exactly what we're gonna get with him. I think it makes sense because
I can see that. Yeah,
yeah,
and
it's hard
not
to
mad,
film so,
not
which
mad at
is
all.
fine because it's hard to integrate him into the story. It just doesn't a quick reshoot. Just doesn't seem like he has a big role, which is fine. I didn't think he was anyway. So it looked fine. It's cool. We'll see. You know, it's not a bad trailer. It wasn't a oh my god moment for
I
Marvel,
I,
but it was
I will
decent.
say, uh, the scene where, first of all, the trailer, it looks like they're referencing the Eternal that they froze in the Eternals,
I
like
saw
that.
that. Yeah,
The Celestial. I
some
mean,
movie had to
so
do it.
yeah, somebody had to fight. It can't be just a newspaper article
All
in the
right.
background
God
of a.
forbid, you know, they
Yeah.
mentioned a huge event and
So
whatever.
is a real thing. I like the fact that let's talk about this too. I mean, they're bringing back John Blake Nelson as the leader, which from the
Right.
original Edward Norton movie, which it was really
Interesting.
cool. I'm excited about that. They're bringing in the Isaiah Bradley
Right.
from Falcon Winter Soldier, who was the for lack of better terms, the Tuskegee Airmen of the Super Soldier Serum
Right.
phase of American history. I think that's really interesting. There's a lot of cool dynamics, but top of all that, the part that I'm most kind of curious about, it's gonna sound stupid, but it's me.
Fair.
There's a scene where Falcon is flying and he's like going super speed, and he looks like he's wearing a helmet.
Okay.
I want to know if the helmet is going to be a reference to the 1970s Captain America TV series where he wore the
Oh
big
my big
motorcycle helmet.
helmet. Oh my god.
I
If
I,
that's
I
what you're
saw it.
most
I was like,
excited about, maybe this trailer wasn't as good as I thought it was. I don't know. Maybe.
but that's the kind of nerd
If
I am.
that's
Like,
the selling point
is
of this
this
film, we are all in trouble, man. I swear to
clear
God.
headgear for safety reasons? Because he's doing like Mach 3. You need a
No,
helmet.
I get
It
it. I get it.
all makes sense. Part of me is like, is it going to be a motorcycle reference?
I'm just curious because I guess it's funny. There's a line in the film where Harrison Ford tells him, you're Captain America, you're not Steve Rogers,
You know,
right?
Steve Rogers, right?
And that's kind of on the nose. I'm not sure they're trying to say, hey, this is new. You're not Steve Rogers, and for me, that's always going to be a little bit of a problem, right? Because we have association with Captain America and who he is. It's like bringing new Iron Man in. You're not
Right.
Robert Downey Jr. It's tough to kind of
Well,
cross
I
that barrier,
also
right?
think it's addressing the general, like
Right, of course. Just the
the
elephant in the
normie
room, right?
looking in, going, "Who the fuck is this guy? He's not the original Captain America."
Right.
And so you're calling it, and when he says, "No, I'm not," you don't even hear his statement about what he is, what they're doing. And I took this, I thought this was really clever in terms of either editing or implying the final statement. He's going to let his actions speak for
Yeah,
himself. Like, I'm not Steve Rogers, but I am Captain
I will
America.
say that scene that was written differently, and a friend told me we went to the CinemaCon, and that's
Okay.
that exact same scene but different words. Really weird. So
Oh, really?
I'm not sure
Okay.
which is which, but yeah, I was like, oh, he didn't say it in the same scene. Okay, interesting. Maybe they changed it. I don't know. But yeah, that won't be a comic. We've seen it, so Comic Con, what they're gonna give us. So let's. I think the first thing is probably the biggest thing is this story about the Russo brothers, which we talked about before, which I find fascinating, right? Because Jeff Snyder's a big insider in the industry, right? He's well known, he's respected, he's legit. He had mentioned that the Russo brothers had talks with Kevin Feige, and apparently, as the story goes, Kevin Feige turned him down from directing,
Well,
the
you
Fox
said
thing.
it was one brother that went only.
Well, whatever the case is, well, maybe.
I remember that because
Sure.
as this week has been playing, that our episode has been playing in the back of my head, talking about, like, I was like, wait a minute, we just talked about this,
Right.
but we literally said it was only one Russo brother. It was a Russo, so no brother
Yeah,
involved. It was
so
just
it's
Russo.
interesting. Now this pops up, but so before we get to the impact, if they were to come back, right? But a lot of times, when you hear these rumors that come to fruition, whether it be in Deadline, all these big trades, those rumors usually have commenced like months before. They just get reported late. So there's two rumors, right? Let's focus on the one that they're gonna come back, right? And then there's one that they got turned down. We don't know when this. Yeah, they could have gone and had a meeting with them, just like Jeff Snyder said, and they got turned down. That part of the news has not reached mainstream yet, right? They're behind, so there's still a chance they don't do it. Kevin Feige, he mentioned, this is a quote here that he has when they asked him about it directly, and it was kind of a no answer, but it's like, no, I can't comment on it except to say it was somebody else a couple of weeks ago. And I look forward to seeing who is going to be next week. We'll see. Interesting words. So did they have somebody? Then they replaced.
I'm sorry. That is total bull crap.
Of course, it's bull crap. It's such a non-answer.
That is Andrew Garfield. I'm not the werewolf.
Right. That's exactly. It's interesting. I mean, all signs point towards the Russos coming back. So let's assume they're gonna come back. At the end of Comic-Con, cue the music, dun, 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 and here comes the Russo brothers on stage announcing
dressed in Black Adam,
announcing the next two Avengers films. It's funny because
the hierarchy of the Marvel universe is about to
that film lost its writer a month ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So of course, because Marvel doesn't nowadays. Whatever. So now, which leads obviously they're bringing someone a different vision, new writer, or whatever. So maybe it's the Russo brothers, and here we go. So I think we're finally going to get that announcement officially, and the date too, because it was been saying 2026 for a while. I don't think that's going to. I don't know. It doesn't seem that way, but maybe it is. But you're hearing back. We wanted this, right? Isn't that what we wanted? The Russos coming back.
Okay. So this is what I think. Because I've been hearing, and I'll talk about what I heard. You can tell me what you heard, and see if maybe there's some weird overlap because maybe you weren't. Whatever. So I heard that in terms of the Russo brothers, both stories are true. They originally went to Feige with a pitch, and Feige said, "No, we're doing our own thing." But and that was before everything got reorganized.
Okay.
Since the reorganization, they basically refilmed an entire Captain America movie. They changed the direction of the Daredevil series, and they reconsidered the Russos to come back in because they're like, "We're going to give what the people want, but just better. We're not going to try to rethink the wheel. If this is what the culture has showed us, like, why didn't you just do this? Because this is what we liked in the first place. Let's do that and then build off of that. We can grow to different, but we can't start off different."
Fair.
So both stories are real.
Like I said, there's a chance that could have. You're absolutely right. That could have occurred that way.
And I heard a little birdie told me that the Levy was going to do Star Wars, but Star Wars has rescheduled the movie he was going to do to magically give him an opportunity to be available for Avengers 5 so the Russos can do Avengers 6. That's what I heard.
I heard something that he turned it down because of Star Wars. I didn't know about, maybe they did move it. I mean, I'm not surprised because you announced a Star Wars movie. Come on. Is it really coming? Is that really coming out? Maybe.
This is gonna be
right?
like, you know what? I'm just gonna have dessert for dessert. I'm not gonna have dessert for dinner.
Right.
I'm gonna have dessert for dessert. I'm gonna have dinner, and then dessert.
If Sean Levy does his film, let's assume he does. His movie's not. If the Star Wars movie continues after the fact, that's 2028, 2029.
Exactly.
We can forget about that film. Let's just be clear in terms of the recency of the movies coming out. But look, like I said before, I'll say it again. It's good news, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Russo brothers.
Since it was broke, fix it.
Yeah, but Marvel hasn't been the same with the Russos, and Russos have not been anywhere near what they have been with Marvel.
It's like a couple that broke up, but they worked really well together. Like, just get back together, man.
Let's get back together. Yeah, it's just you and I were meant to be. Take me back. Here you go, and make the magic happen. So I think this is exactly what we're seeing here. I really do, because I think they both need each other. The three of them, whatever. Yeah. Feige and the Russos. For sure. So that's
the Feiges and the Russos, the Marvel and the Russos should do a movie every 3 years, and it's just like when a couple who broke up and they're living their lives, they know it's not going to work well, but every once in a while they hook up again just to be like, okay, yeah, that's cool, and they break. That's what it's got to be. That
one more shot, baby. Come on. So let's see. So I'm kind of curious this announcement. Maybe we'll do a post Comic-Con show over the weekend once we hear the news.
That'd be great.
After that Saturday, because I'm kind of curious what it is that they announced. I know
a
lot of rumors, Thor 4 and Spider-Man 4. And,
Thor 5.
Thor 5, I'm sorry, Thor 5. And I heard Awards, something that's being rumored as well. Some animated film, I guess, their first venture into animated.
I heard something about that too.
A lot of stuff. Who knows? And I think that it was rumored like almost 10 films, 12 films. And what was not among them was Blade. No big surprise.
Son of a gun.
Let's move on. So, as far as that goes, we will dive more into that. But let's get into the two. I say the two big events of the week. There's one big event, and then there's the Acolyte. So let's start with the Acolyte.
Oh, come all right. Let's start with this.
A show which
Those are coming off.
we have not been high on. We did not like the last episode.
The last episode
was bad.
The most confusingly structured in every sense of the word.
It was
episode.
Just terrible. It's got a lot of bad stuff. The ratings not good. Whatever. So here comes the finale, and I'll say I'm so glad I'm not talking about the show anymore. I really am. It's exhausting, and I like to end things on a good note. Thank God we got something to end on. But dude, that's why I was talking to Peter. You know me, friend of the show. You know, I've known
Peter
well.
Santa Maria attack
Correct.
Peter.
Attack Peter. Right. I thought I hated it. Oh my God. He was. Before I got the word acolyte, before I finished the word, he was ranting. I'm like, oh, relax. First of all, I agree. Second of all, give me a chance to listen. Dude, this made it the worst Star Wars show I've seen.
I disagree.
Worse, even worse than Boba Fett. And I thought I was gonna say Boba Fett first, but then Peter's like, wait a minute, they gave us 2 good Mandalorian episodes. Agreed. You know what? This did not give us anything closer, so this has to be the worst.
I have to say, out of the whole series, this was one of my favorite episodes of the whole series. I really. Now, was it perfect? No, and I'll be very honest. The first 10 minutes of the episode, I was like, oh man, this is horrible.
Oh, but let's break this down. So let's start there, because I mean, listen, there's a lot of it's dumb shit, right?
Sure.
It's just nonsense. So let's go to the beginning, and I think the beginning was not the whole OSHA thing. That's fine.
The general beginning is
it's just OSHA and this guy with the helmet.
May escapes Saul, jumps into a escape pod, and he detaches from the main ship to follow her. So everything about that, chasing her through the chase was cool. I liked the chase. Visually was cool.
Sure.
The reason for the chase made no sense.
No sense.
The way the chase was happening made no sense. Like, you're trying to capture somebody in an asteroid field, and you're a peaceful Jedi, so your option is to shoot more asteroids?
Saying.
I was like, what?
Or even shoot her.
And then the little rat dude.
Oh my God, the pronoun rat. What the?
And doesn't, like, you're a sentient being. You can express an idea, except he just rips wires out. He rather sabotage the ship, and then in the asteroid field, it does a weird sort of like Fast and Furious like flip pivot, and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, it was really bad. I have why do you do that? I don't know. The reasoning is beyond me.
Everyone's logic.
It's incomprehensible.
No sense.
And it's like Saul keeps getting duped. As powerful as they show him to be, he's getting duped by May at every freaking turn. Dupe. It's Benny Hill. And then when she's gone, all of a sudden he's the man. I don't.
But here's the thing. When after they crash land on a planet, everything afterwards, fucking awesome.
Oh no, that was the good part of the show for me.
What, the crashing or
the beginning part, which I hated.
That's the part I hated. I feel like
but I'm saying that's the part I hated, but I still felt that was the best part of the show.
With the exception of
the fight
scene.
I'm in. That's another thing. So she escapes to go to the planet. He was taking her anyway. Why are you going there? Oh, I got you. I'm going to go to this planet. No, I'm going to escape and go to the planet. What is the point?
Like I said, the first 10 minutes, everyone's choices and actions and execution made no sense.
It's ridiculous.
Now, once you're on the planet and they're committed to this, the way it plays out, I was into it. I was like,
I'll say this. There was 2 fight scenes. One was crap. The other one was fantastic. The lightsaber scene was really good. Minus the crouching tiger, it doesn't mix.
I kind of like the crouching tiger. I'm not gonna lie, I liked it.
I get it. Just doesn't work. It doesn't work in Star Wars. It's silly.
I thought it did.
And the problem is, everyone's got powers you never see in 800 movies and shows in Star Wars. They're all doing shit they can't do now in this show. They can't. It's not.
I disagree. It makes sense because you got to remember, by the time Return of the Jedi comes around, what we're seeing is like caveman level Force use.
I completely disagree. The same council is there. No one's changed.
No, Return of the Jedi. In Return of the Jedi.
But you had the prequels and all these badasses. And
prequels are doing shit that they're not even doing here. I've yet to see anyone speed run ever since.
But I say it's all weird, right? It's all these things. There's no continuity. But that's a different issue, right? That's an overall thing that the show does this. That was a great fight scene. That's the only thing I said.
Great fight.
I was kidding at the begining, but that was the best scene. That was a cool ass, very
That
choreographed.
absolutely,
Was
I
great.
agree 100%.
No
That
doubt.
lightsaber battle is one of the
Was
coolest ones I've
dope.
ever seen.
Was super dope. I liked it a lot. No doubt.
Now,
And again, when it's not May, so is the man. When it's May, he's an idiot. It's just call it what it is.
I mean, maybe this is Star Wars' way of telling us that if you like a girl, maybe Star Wars is really incel about it, because you're like, every time you care about a woman, you will be weak.
I don't know.
Anakin, Saul,
Someone's got to mention that.
Luke, it's
just
Kylo Ren.
Oh God, that's it. But this one too. This one,
yeah,
too.
that's what I'm saying.
We're gonna skip to the end.
Which is not the message Star Wars should be saying. This is a weird way. Subconsciously, you're telling all of us, when a girl's around a Force user, that Force user will be weak.
Clearly, right? And it happened
it's
to
so weird.
To
I don't
the
want
stranger.
that
Yeah, it happened to the stranger. Now the little love thing, which is it's weird. It didn't make any sense. But
yeah,
whatever.
That stranger killed 8 Jedis easy, but because he now cares about Osha, Saul's giving him a problem. It's the weirdest messaging.
It's the weirdest thing. It's very bizarre. But the problem with I said that, as we said weeks ago, she's gonna turn and I'm gonna hate it. The reason why I hate it, because you can make the turn, but nothing was ever set up to have that payoff in any way at all. It's just not. We have both sisters at different times. None of them want to have anything to do with each other. Episode 3, she's like, Osha, I'm done. You guys do what you want. I'm out. All of a sudden, oh, don't leave me. Stay with me. And the other one, tries no, pushes on the Force, leaves her to die on some fucking planet. And now, oh, man, Osha, my love, my life, and this stupid. It's just, what are we doing? What is going on here? This show never had a moment, and I thought about this, where they show them as sisters getting along. Not one time. From the beginning, it's very adversarial. They were like going at it, then the whole thing with the fire locks her up. There's never a moment that they shared. You can have that bond, that connection, right? Which now they separate. Now
well, they did say that rhyme.
The rhyme.
So.
It's just like, but there's nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was not set up to where like, oh, now in the and I know all the telling is I don't want to be with her. I'm done with her. Forget her. And now all of a sudden, here we go. And it's just a strange thing. And Osha turning bad. That would have worked if we had an episode where the stranger, whoever his name is putting that idea in her head, manipulating her like a true Sith should.
Actually, I disagree.
And we never got that. He hinted at it, but she's like, I'm gonna train you. No, I'm out. That's just her words. I'm out. I don't want to do with you. I'm gonna leave. Oh, stranger, I'm yours. Let's hold hands. All of a sudden, this love is in the air. Love is in the air.
I think.
Come on,
the
man.
fact that the stranger, in sense, sort of like awakened something inside of her, a thrall, and like I can accept that.
I can accept him doing that. I'm talking about Osha.
I know, but here's what.
But Osha, she turns so quickly on a dime.
I think
they're both flippity flopping.
I think that falls into the director, and I'll tell you why.
Well, but whatever reason is, it's there. And that's why that payoff is not there. Her turning bad, and it was cool. That lightsaber scene with turning red, that was cool, no doubt.
But we're not talking about visual. We're talking about.
I know, but just saying visual. I'm trying to get credit where the credit's due.
No, that was cool. I really enjoyed watching it. But I think the moment should have been May for the when May is telling Osha what Saul did, which is a turning point, right? Mm-hmm. It shouldn't have been angry. It should have been. Like, that should have been the most emotional moment of the series.
Probably.
When she goes, it shouldn't have been anger. It should have been like yelling. It should have been like it should have started off big and then gotten quiet. Like, he killed her, and then start crying, mother. Like, and that transition would have been the moment.
When we had the opportunity 2 episodes ago, when we talked about that, they're talking. No one's saying shit. They wait to the end, and it doesn't work. And let's assume she knew that back then. Now she's building that anger, and now the senses that, and he's playing on that, feeding that monster to now when she turns, great, and that makes sense.
What you could have done, taking what you wanted to see in that moment where they're talking to each other, wouldn't it have been cool if you saw the stranger sort of like look like he was sort of like trying to amplify the moment? So they are having their moment is genuine, but it's being corrupted by him.
That's what we want. And that's what I wanted to see, to make it believe, to buy it.
Right.
We're not buying it. She turned like everything else in the show. It's undercooked, and it just doesn't work. And everything falls flat. And should I feel bad for Saul? Like, yeah, I did it because yeah, she was gonna kill you guys, or she was a danger. He's wishing washing. I don't understand why what he did was so bad. It just doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I understand what he did was bad in a sense, but like it's almost a thing where
It's
like
still
if a
justified.
soldier commits collateral damage,
Yeah,
it's bad. It's collateral damage. People died. You know, innocent people died. But he was following the protocols of what he was going to do. These people just were in the way, so it wasn't his fault per se.
right. It
He was just doing
happens.
what he thought he needed to do at that
Right,
moment.
and that could have been
On
explained 100 different
right,
ways, right? And even
absolutely,
with Osher, and we finally learned why she couldn't continue training, right? She had that sensing the angle, whatever, right? But it's
right.
not mentioned. And all throughout the show, she's very nice. Let's not kill the light birds. Like, oh my God, please don't harm them. Don't kill the stranger when you had a chance. And all of a sudden now she's evil. And it's not set up right. Where
Like,
if they
wouldn't
were
it be
if they
cool?
were dropping those hints, let me. If she would have told Saul kill him, and he said no, then you get that sense, oh, something's up with this girl, right?
Right.
That's how you set it up. So now at the end, you're not like, oh, yeah. And then he senses the anger the stranger does, builds on that, manipulates her. That's how you do it. You just can't turn the dime and, okay, now I'm bad. Now my
Okay,
lightsaber's red. It
wouldn't it
doesn't
be
work.
cool if they would have done something sort of like? Do you remember that Edward Norton movie something Fear? It's when he was playing
Oh, Prime
the
Fear.
Primal Fear, where he
Sure.
was playing the person with multiple personalities
Mm-hmm.
supposedly, and then when the movie goes to the end, they kind of do the Kaiser Sose where they show
Mm-hmm.
the full aspect of it. He's been playing everyone. Wouldn't it be interesting if there was like at least 3 or 4 times throughout the series where we flash back to Soul training OSHA, and there were these contexts, and we're like, oh, these are moments where they were bonding, but when we go back into those moments where she's having that issue, we either see like 2 minutes before or 2 minutes after where you see that hint of dark side, and all those come to a head. That would have been
Of
a really
course,
cool way
that's
to.
how you set it up, right? Yeah, and
Right.
there's no setup. They're just giving you payoff, and just that just never works. It never works. And like we said, it shouldn't have been the twins at this point. It should have just been, X-23 and Soul throughout the whole damn thing, right?
Yes.
Let's
Yeah.
be clear, right? It's just the way it should have been originally. But whatever, it is what it is. The twins didn't work, and since the twins didn't work, none of those payoffs worked. And at the end, this
Right.
guy's the magic mind wipe. When do you do that to everybody he meets, and it's just call this a day,
I literally thought about that. I go, why
right?
has every Jedi never
Oh
done
my
all this
god.
forever?
You everything's done. All right. Oh, Palpatine. Hey, what's going on? And that's it. The movie's over. I mean, it's just convenient writing just for the sake of the plot. I don't get that. It doesn't make any sense. Now I'm expecting them to do it all the time because the gates open, right? You
Right.
introduced it. Oh, well, okay.
And if you say something like, well, it's against the Jedi, it's like, right, Jedis don't attack first. I'm like, yeah, I get they're not supposed to, but this series has showed us Jedis will do a bunch of things
Well, yeah,
they're not
Jedi's
supposed
right.
to all
Jedi's
the
are
time.
yeah, they're unscrupulous, obviously, and we have the Green Jedi who I okay, I don't get her. I don't understand why she's lying and she's gonna tell Yoda the truth. I mean, Yoda knew what was going on, did nothing about it. Now he looks bad. It just,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. It was,
What if
and
she
that was a
what
nugget
if she
too.
mind wipes Yoda?
Well, then now we're talking. Say, okay, now fine, you know. But you see, it's such a danger doing that. 'Cause it's like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. It just doesn't work. They could have just said Saul went crazy or whatever, or not. Listen, this is what happened there. Like, it should have
Right.
been done from the beginning.
Yeah.
It is what it is. We took care of it. He's been disposed of. Dangers averted, whatever. And call it a day. And my Padawans out there, whatever. I don't know. It just, everything's a misfire. And then Dark
Oh,
Plagueis is there, right?
Dark
We got to
Plagueis
mention Dark Plagueis.
showed up out of nowhere. I'm like, has he been there the whole time? Was he the man under the stairs? Like, what is this?
I don't know. And they never show him again. So what was the
Yeah.
point? What was the point of bringing him in there? You could have introduced him
Like,
later.
wouldn't it, once again, wouldn't it have been
God.
cool? You know that part where the stranger and Osha are staring out into the sun and their thumbs are
Oh
romantically
my
touching each
god.
other over the
Ugh.
lightsaber?
Gag.
Wouldn't it have been great if the camera would have pushed past between them and there would have been Plagueis watching over them? That would have been at least a
That would
little
have been interesting
cool.
because then I would have said, "Oh, he's been there all along." We don't know. Is he
Exactly,
watching?
exactly.
It's just odd. It's just they just put him for the sake of putting him in, right? They're trying to set up a new season. You can't even get the first one right.
Right.
Don't worry about setting anything up, dude. Do this correctly, and you can introduce Plagueis later, and that's fine, right? No doubt. Introduce Yoda later. We don't need his
But
ears.
once again, doesn't this fall in the thing that you've been railing against for Star so long, which is like give me new Star Wars. Get us out of the past. Give me new Star Wars. And we even talked about, even if you go back in time, do a done in one, and then let's go into the future. Because Star Wars has always been about what's happening next.
Sure. I mean, I don't mind like High Republic's like that's 10,000 years. That's great.
Sure.
You know, Yoda. There's no association. There's no.
Right.
You don't worry about canon, right? For the most part.
Right.
Oh, this guy was that guy with the big head, and he wasn't alive, and all this controversy with that, and now Yoda made no. Dude, just go back to where none of that matters. You can do whatever the hell you want, and then explain later that that power was banned or whatever the fuck it was, right?
And by the way, let me just say this as well, and I say this with a man with full hair, so there's not any kind of insecurity coming in. Couldn't you give Yoda a little bit more hair? It's 100 years.
He's looked the same in any time period.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what come on.
I don't understand. Seriously. Like, wow, he aged very slowly, but not really. It's weird, but not. You're right.
Is he one of those dudes who looks old from 40? Like,
it's like Steve 40, Martin. He had Steve Martin had gray hair since he was like 20. Maybe it's funny, but you're right about that. But listen, the whole thing's a disaster, and we're not getting a season 2.
I hope not. I've really never said this before.
True, you're right. You're right.
I hated Boba Fett more than.
But you did say you want to see another one. You did say that. You did.
But I was like, I wouldn't mind seeing another one. This, I'm good.
No, I'm good. I don't want any more.
I'm good. You told this story.
Well, you told something. You told a story, not a good story.
I will say this: if you said we're going to use a stranger in something else, I'm cool.
I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I mean, the show. I'm not gonna say if this show was what they promised, we would have gone the stranger, maybe Plagueis or whatever, and this whole play of this acolyte, right? Really behind the curtain of the Sith, which is what we thought we were gonna get, right? That's what they were. That was their word. That's what they were telling us, right? We didn't make this up.
We're gonna see the Star Wars from a different perspective.
Right, different perspective.
See the light, now let's see the dark.
Nonsense.
That's what I was hoping for.
We got none of that at all.
None.
A snippet, with the one episode snippet. And that was this. It would have been cool if Plagueis was there, and even if it was the mom, which we thought it could be. I thought it was gonna be the mom, right? The dog mom. She's whatever. It would have been better if they would have shown her instead of Plagueis.
I kind of agree.
That would have made more sense, right? She's in the background watching. Right. Maybe she found him, whatever. She trained him. But okay, you replace her with Plagueis. He's not even part of the story. At least the mother was. That could have been cool. Maybe she's up in the end.
And it would have made more sense because here's the thing. I've had conversations with other people, and they're like, this the Acolyte doesn't make sense. I'm like, what part? What is the part that you feel doesn't make sense? He goes, the stranger said he's not the Sith, but Plagueis is right there, and he's a Darth. So it's clearly. Instead, I go, well, the Sith are also fucking liars. So maybe don't believe everything he said.
But because no one said he's trained doesn't mean he's there. He trained them, so he could have been on his own thing, right? So that's to be fair. I'll be fair to the show. If they alluded to it or something, fine. Or he had because usually had the rule of two. That's the way it's always been, right? So if he had another, it wasn't Plagueis. Plagueis was there, but it was another Sith training him, then okay, that's kind of weird. So they didn't go that route. So I'll give him credit for that. He just been on his own and figure out how to use the dark side and wipe people's minds on his own.
Look,
whatever.
My whole point of conceit is that if they had the mom, you could that line still would have been an authentic line, And once again, I kind of hope the stranger is not a liar because for me, the stranger came off like Thanos. Like Thanos is many things, but a liar isn't one of them.
True, you're right.
And so I feel like villains who are honest about everything are the most dangerous kinds of villains because there's no hyperbole. There's no unreliable narrator. They're telling you, I'm going to do this, and every part of them means every word he just said.
This is what I'm going to do. This is what happened. And you believe it. Like if he had known, and I don't know, I don't think he alluded to it. Maybe he did. I don't remember if he knew what happened at. Whatever the planet where the mom died. I don't think he said that.
It didn't look like he knew.
I don't think he knew, but if he would have known and said it, she would have bought it. The mom, you know what? The mom could have introduced that episode, told her what happened, and again build that anger, right? And then it's just it's there. It's all the ingredients are right. I don't understand. You had the ham, the cheese, bread, the mayo, and they just put in the salad.
It's like making a sandwich, and the first part of the sandwich isn't bread; it's pickles. Like, no, it's not pickles; it's bread. Why would you choose pickles? There's 18 of them on one side. None of this makes sense.
And they're trying to do a BLT without the bacon. It doesn't work. It does not work. So yeah, it was disappointing. I'm glad the show's over, and I No season 2, please. If it's me season 2, let it be somebody else that's doing it.
Yeah,
A different director. Because
yeah.
listen, I'm sure she's great, but she didn't know what she was doing. It didn't work.
Actually, I disagree. I felt
I
like she
mean,
knew what she was doing, but I really felt this was studio meddling.
it's with Kathleen Kennedy. It's all on the table. We just don't know. I just rather someone fresh to at
Right.
least give me this a semblance of a hope that okay, someone new can maybe do something better or different with this. That's what I'm saying. Right? Particularly with this good material here.
Right.
Right. Someone needs to go in there and sculpt it better. That's the thing. So she's part of it. Oh my god, I'm out. I'm not even gonna lie. It's just I have no way. So whatever. Let's see if Skeleton Crew is the next one up to bat.
I,
Whatever.
I'm
Whatever.
still looking forward to it. Listen, I'm a massive.
I want to see a trailer. Not that the trailer can,
Listen,
Acolyte trailer was
I
good
like
too, but
I like Goonies. I like Stranger Things. I like Gravity
sure
Falls.
thing.
I like
Absolutely.
my comic book, Danger Squad. Got a T-shirt right here.
That's right.
I
Yeah.
love kids on bike stories. You give me Star Wars kids on bikes, I'm in it at least for the first episode.
I mean, listen, we're gonna watch it, of course, and the trailer could be great. Listen, the Acolyte trailer was good. We liked the first Acolyte trailer.
Yeah, first trailer looked dope.
Look what happened. So even with that, I'll be like, oh man, whatever. So let's see. But that we gotta end on a high note. So let's end on a high note for Christ's sake, because The Boys finished off its 8-episode run, season 4, only one left, and damn, is the word I have to say here. What they set up in this episode was shit. Talk about hitting the fan, right? Really, the building of everything we thought was going to happen in terms of what should happen with Homelander finally having total control and like, oh shit. I love this, the finale. Really well. I thought this season was better than last season.
It is really, really solid. You're right in a sense because I feel like season 3, the end of season 3 was like their big fight scene end season, and this one wasn't. This was a big character moment season finale. Mm-hmm. Everyone had a moment. It didn't come down to a final fight, but it set up the pieces that the next fight, which oddly enough, is the last season of the series.
Yeah, it did what it needed to do. It set up the last season like it's just going to go down, right?
If
it's just
we're
going down.
Here, this is not even the pop off. So
exactly. Right.
And the level of what we see here is so crazy intense. I mean, from everything from like Starlight versus the Shapeshifter, which was bananas. Huey doing what Huey was meant to do, which is be the voice and the conscience of the team. Mm-hmm. For Frenchie and what's her name?
Kimoko? No. Oh my god, I can't think of her name already.
I know.
Whatever her name is, the awesome Asian girl. I'm gonna look her up now because now I'm like, damn it, I had to take my tongue. Now I lost it.
It's something with a K. I know Kimoko? It's a K. I don't know.
Oh my god, this is embarrassing. Kimiko.
Okay.
Kimiko. There we go. God, I don't know why. Finally, right? They had that moment.
We've been waiting for fucking ever for that to happen, and Mother's Milk coming to terms. It was like that talk with A-Train from the last episode, making him realize like, listen, this is it. Like I got nowhere else to go because if I fail here, there is nowhere else to go. So I'm 100% in. All that was great. Seeing Butcher become Tyler Durden was a great sad arc for his character.
But it goes back to stuff. That was being set up the whole season, right? Yeah. His only last hope in humanity was the son, right? The Hamlin, the son, that connection. Right. Like, okay, we have hope here. Yeah. And when what's her face just ruins it, and he's like, okay, I'm out. And also come to Negan. Let's do this, right?
Cancer Negan. He's right. Cancer Negan.
But it fit. It made sense. It was set up. He was fighting until he's like, okay, all hope is done. We lost my only. That's how you set it up. That's how you make that turn. It works.
I got to tell you, what did you find more heartbreaking? When his son accidentally kills Grace, or the fact that he looked like he had no remorse after he realized what he did? What was more heartbreaking for you?
I think the remorse. I think he's just angry. So I think he's not a bad kid. So I think that's just a moment. He had a moment, and
that's what I wondered. Like,
and I think he realized that.
Or do you think it's reveal? I took it as shock. Like he's just like, oh, I have to go. It's like
I
he's
think
in shock.
I think he's in shock. He's like, yeah, he doesn't know what's going
Right.
on. He just learned about it. I mean, he just learned. She dumped
Right. And they
just
just dumped all that. Yeah. You find out that your biological father is essentially Super Hitler.
right.
And then
Rate your
you
mom.
kill the woman you tend to thought it was like your grandma or like an older aunt.
Oh my,
And you murder her too.
that's yeah.
Like
It's
it's a lot.
he had a lot because you see Butcher in his face. Who had a really good performance there, and he's like,
Dude, Carl Urban, that should be the
that
Emmy
was a really
nominated
cool. Yeah,
episode
that was.
for
I
Carl
mean, he
Urban.
can tell the pain in his face. Oh man, this kid, man, why are you doing this to him? Boom, right? And so but killing her, I was like, oh shit, that's messed up. So with him shot, that I was found like that to me was like, I get it. Like that's
By
the
the way,
reaction I thought he should have had. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, this kid.
absolutely. And by the way, the in this episode, there's also a great conversation between Butcher and Huey, as Butcher's sort of like giving him I guess his last wish for Huey
Right.
to visit a topless steak bar
Yeah.
in Nevada, which is great. I love it. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm watching this and I'm like genuinely that was the first moment in this episode where you started seeing that Carl Urban is on a authentic level here with his character that you've never seen before, and it is palpable. You can feel it in the air. I was reading an article with Kripke about the last episode, and he mentioned that when they were originally set up the scene between Butcher and Huey talking about the top of steakhouse, it was supposed to cut in between them more often. But when Carl's performance was so compelling, they're like, just keep it on him and zoom slowly. And that, I was like, and it worked, that's man. It worked. And like you started off with both and both, and then when he hits that note, you're just like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this is the kind of thing where when you know you're having you as an entire unit, the production team is working together because they can see something that wasn't on paper, but it's working on screen. We're going to make a change right now. Keep it as is, but we're just going to do this instead. And it takes that scene and elevates something else. That's a sign of a show that is on a stride and knows what it's doing.
Oh, there's no, yeah, they have a clear direction. They know what's going on. Everything's hitting. Oh, fuck. Poor, was it Newman? What's his face?
Newman.
Damn. Ripped. I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I didn't expect quite that.
But I, at this point,
I mean, I figured she was going to get whacked, but at some point, just not at that particular moment.
Remember, she's essentially acid-proof and bulletproof. So there was no shooting her with anything. So the fact that you ripped her in half, but once again, this is The Boys. If we don't go through a whole season with at least 7 people getting ripped in half, it's not a real season.
Okay, I think last episode he would kill what?
Yeah,
the butthole guy.
I was like, yo!
That was like more to Condom fatality. That was awesome. I was like, oh my god, that's what I'm saying. But no, that was awesome, and it's like there's no turning back with Butcher now. I got a feeling, maybe think differently. I think he's going out next season.
Butcher,
yeah, I don't think he's surviving next season.
Do you want me to mention the comic or no?
I read some of the comic, but they deviated so much.
They have deviated.
Yeah,
so
I don't
much,
think we're gonna get that ending. Cause I read about the end. As far as the ending of Homelander, I don't think it's gonna go down like that.
No, it's not gonna go like that. But the conclusion of Butcher in that as well, and that's why. So yeah, I mean, if Butcher died, it would not be the most shocking thing as a comic book reader.
Okay. And I figured. I think that's where it's going. I think he's there. I mean, I don't know if maybe he's not even cured. I don't know. Maybe he is. I have no idea. I mean, if he's not, then he's going to die. For sure, he's dying. But
I think as soon as you rip the cancer out of him, he also dies.
Okay, so that's what. So he's
going to go down. I think that's the way they're going to go. Like when the cancer gets killed, he dies by because they're so entwined. Murder one is the other. So essentially, Butcher will self-sacrifice.
Sure.
To kill the cancer.
Yeah, I don't know if he takes out Homelander or it's him, and we got Soldier Boy. Waiting in the wings. Tag him in.
They could kill each other.
Yeah, so I'm sure he's gonna be in there. But I love the way, and it sucks for Kamiko and what's it, Frenchie, because the minute they get their moment, just rip it away, man. Give me that back. And we had what's her phrase from Gen Z. Well, I forgot what her power was exactly. Is it mind control?
When she touches you, she controls you.
She controls you or something. Okay, that's what it was. Yeah,
it's like a Jedi mind trick, but you have to physically touch the person.
Yeah. Does she have mind wipe? Hello.
Hey.
But so I was like, man,
which she does.
That's kind of is a mind wipe.
So
it's kind of mind wipe. Yeah. She has legitimate. But and then she finally spoke.
She did, which made it so much sadder.
Oh my god! I was like, damn! Finally, she's gonna get pissed. But right now, they're all caged up except for Starlight.
Starlight and Butcher are the only two
No,
that
Butcher
aren't
too.
caged up
I
right
got a
now.
feeling. Well, look, I got a feeling May's coming back. She didn't die, and she was
Oh,
good
that's
friends
true.
with Starlight. Maybe try to do a rescue mission for, Soldier Boy, maybe something to that effect, because they need him no matter what,
Right?
right?
Yeah.
But let's not forget to. Let's not forget. Speaking of which, Giancarlo Esposito
Still
will,
out
will
there.
be none too happy to hear what's her face got whacked.
Absolutely.
So he's going to be a major player, and he's not afraid of Homelander in that sense.
Right.
And you got the scientist guy who's going to find out the same thing too, and maybe the virus thing. I don't know. I'm curious where this goes, because it's not going the comic book way at all. I
Yeah.
don't think it's not set up that way.
What I feel like this series is going to have a very Quentin Tarantino ending, which means most people are going to be dead at the end of
People are going
this.
to get whacked left and
Yeah.
right. The deep good night. The
Oh, not
fake
dead.
noir.
Done.
Have a nice day. Homelander, he's going down. What's her face?
Sage is going to die, and she's going to be pissed off. She's like, I didn't
I
see
don't
that
think
coming.
Sage died. I think Sage gets something happened, something to the brain. She stays dumb or something. I gotta think something like that may happen to her. The what's her face? The new when the milking the homeland.
She's dead.
She's
She's dead.
dead.
Yeah.
Clearly,
Easy.
he's going in that.
Yeah. Look, everyone on the 7 is going to die.
Except for A Train.
A-Train, well, right.
And
A-Train
he's still around. I forgot about that.
but even then, I think he will. I think he will die
He may.
as heroically. He's going to be sacrificed.
Right. He's
sacrificed.
sacrificed.
Well.
You're right. Enemy dies on the good guy side, on the boys.
Oh, I think.
Besides
I think
Butcher,
is going to die. I think Mother's Milk is going to die.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I think Miko. Kamiko. I think Kamiko's gonna live, but I think French is gonna die, and I think
No, I
Mother's
think
Milk is gonna die,
you need
and Butch is gonna die. I think only Starlight, Huey, and Kamiko live.
I think Frenchie Kamiko, because that's such a happy story. I think you want to leave it be. I think, and then Starlight and Huey for sure live, and I think they adopt the kid.
Oh, I could see that.
Like Butcher tells him, "Hey, take care of the kid," or whatever the case
Right.
is, right?
Because
he's got
Mother's
no one
Milk
else.
was supposed to take care of the kid,
Right.
And he's like, nah. And that's why I think Mother's Milk is gonna die. Because he's gonna
and
he's
set
gonna
it up
die to
with
make
her.
sure his wife and kid are taken care of.
Exactly. I think leaving with them. They talk about having kids. They didn't want to. I think now that everything's resolved, they can have a kid. Kind of. I think that comes up. So for sure, that's what I'm thinking. Listen, it's set up perfectly. It's gonna be bonkers. It's gonna be bonkers. We know it's gonna be bonkers. We know that.
Here's my. I said I hear what you said, and I'm just gonna up the ante once again. Mm-hmm. Starlight, Huey, Butcher's kid, and Kamiko, and Starlight and Kamiko would teach him how to be a hero.
Oh yeah. You might be right. He might be the lone superhero or whatever.
Like they'll be the hero. Starlight, Kamiko, they both got powers too.
Yeah.
And the kid.
Man, Frenchie, I can't see Frenchie going
I think
down.
Frenchie's gonna die.
I don't know, man. You can't wait 4 or 5 years, finally get them together and rip it apart.
Yes, you can. Because
even for the boys, I don't die,
and he's gonna tell Kamiko like I'm doing this for you, so live the life that you deserve. Like, don't hate yourself.
Listen, is it possible? Absolutely, of course. Could I see that happening? Sure. I don't know if they got the ball.
I know you don't want it.
I don't want to happen. Like there's one thing. Like you can kill like Huey and him. I think as untouchable as I think they should be in the show. Everyone else is expendable, including Starlight, for that matter.
Starlight thinks gonna make it.
I think she's gonna make it, but she's still expendable. Like she dies, okay, fine, right? She's a hero, whatever. And Huey's left behind taking care of the kid, and I don't know, whatever. It makes sense if not. Maybe she's pregnant at the end of the show. What I don't know, maybe after he gets tested because he was pretty naughty.
Not his fault.
Not his fault. To be fair, women out there, listen. What are you gonna do? Look just like you. What are you gonna tell you? What are you gonna say? I mean,
if anything, you should be honored. I love the idea of you so much. I was distracted.
Exactly. It is what it is. Good for Huey. Gotta get a little something. I think that's the first time we see him get like real action, anyways, isn't it? Like physically.
No, he's got him and Starlight have a sex.
I mean, they've done it before. I don't remember. Did they have a sex scene? I don't remember. Maybe they have.
I think they have.
Maybe they have. You're right. They have. But he has.
But it was sweeter. Right.
He had better sex with this girl. Tell me. Even he said it.
Listen, 2 fingers in there.
Yeah, hey,
somebody's
hello.
controlling something.
Good for you. But listen, it was a really good 8 episodes. And now we just left for Game of Thrones, which we talk about, in the next couple of weeks and all that stuff as the lone man standing.
The torch carrier until Agatha along. And we'll see how that works out.
Oh, my God, dude. I said let's end the show on a good note, though. Why must you bring in Agatha all along to damper
I'll tell you the good note. Because, once again, we're only a week away for Wolverine and Deadpool.
There
That's what it's
you
gonna be.
go. We're back
Yeah.
on track, baby. That's what I'm
I don't know
talking
why I'm quoting Hulk Hogan. Fuck that guy. But yeah,
about.
Deadpool Wolverine. Seriously, awesome.
That's the big
So,
thing. We're excited about that. We'll talk about that for sure on Thursday. It's gonna be great. I have no doubt about it. Tons of cameos, and we'll do a spoilery, non-spoiler on Thursday.
sure. We'll give
Yeah.
it like a 72-hour mortuarium, and then
Yeah,
we'll
because
come
the
back
first
in.
day just more of a reaction. It was good, whatever. And because it's too soon. I
Yeah.
give people a chance to see over the weekend, and you won't even get to see it that day. So I know you want to see it fresh or as
Oh yeah.
fresh as
Yeah.
possible, of course. I didn't even see the last couple of trailers. I know there's some stuff that was revealed. I don't know what it is, and I don't care to know.
I'm not saying
Right,
nothing.
I don't care. And someone was told me, someone was talking to me, oh, come on, and he was beginning to say, and I hung up the phone. I don't want to hear it. If I wanted to know, I go
Good.
watch it. I go
Yeah.
watch it on my own, right? I don't have to hear secondhand information when I can see it for myself. So,
Yeah.
but that being said, so we got a very exciting week. Deadpool, Comic-Con, and the Russo brothers, and no Blade. It's coming out just like we thought it was going to do. That being said, those are the nuggets for the week.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate all the support you always give us. Don't forget to follow us here on the Latin Nerd Network here on YouTube, where you can watch shows like Nerdsplaining, like The Watch List, Thanos' Choice, and so much more. Don't forget to follow us on social medias, at Nerdsplaining Pod on Instagram, at Nerdsplaining _ on X, Twitter. I know those have not been updated recently, but trust me, they are active. We put in more stuff for there as well. Don't forget you can message there, let us know what you thought about the show, the favorite parts about Acolyte or The Boys, or all the news that's coming out there. Maybe you want to give us some inside scoops. Maybe you want to be our next Venom horse scooper. Let us know what you think. Always looking forward to hearing you guys. It'd be really awesome. Don't forget, if you want to hear the original audio episodes, go to ericdasilva.com, ERICDASILVA. While you're there, pick up my album, Adorably Offensive. I'm starting to go back on the road now, and I've been working on this new hour material, so I look forward to seeing what you guys think about it as well. It'll be a lot of fun, and then we'll get drunk afterwards and tell dirty dad jokes. That sounds really like a lot of fun. Don't forget to go to my comic book that's coming out very soon. We're having some big announcements. Me and Jose already talked about it.
Show 'em the shirt.
We're waiting for Wolverine and Deadpool first, and after that, we're going to talk to this. But it is Danger Squad, baby. And we have merch and a bunch of things coming up, and that'll be all on dangersquad.com. Don't forget to follow our Kickstarter. We are at 36. We're trying to hit the minimum is 50. I'd like to do 75 to 100, but if you guys want to follow up, just go to dangersquad.com. There's a link right there. Follow the Kickstarter. Help us to get to 50 followers. I appreciate that as well. Guys, once again, I have been Wolverine Eric Da Silva birthday. This has been Jose Romero, my Deadpool to my Wolverine. We have been Nerdsplaining. And if you don't know, now you know.
Peace.
Boom.